Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1980 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today we start a series in Cleveland against the Indians. It's a 3-game set. We are coming off a 6-game homestand where we won every single game. So we are on a 6-game winning streak. We are in first place by 1 game over Baltimore, who we just swept at home. And the surging Yankees are 1.5 back. So it's still a tight race here in mid-May. And hopefully we can keep the wins coming against last place Cleveland. They're only 11-23. They are the worst record in the American League. So hopefully we can keep them down, keep the winning streak going. Today's matchup, we have Milt Wilcox facing off against the 0-6 Ross Grimsley. So let's go ahead and get the game started. As always, like and subscribe if you're enjoying our content. Tomorrow on Saturday, we will also be posting a video where I'll be opening 3 boxes of 2019 Topps Gallery with our Brainiac Baseball card breaks. So please feel free to check back tomorrow and watch that video as well. So yes, here we go. Milt Wilcox, 3-1. He's got our best win-loss record of any of our starters. Hopefully he can get back on track. He has been very inconsistent, off to a really great start, and then his last 3 starts have been, unproductive, I guess, because he did have a good start against Baltimore, but overall it's been rough these last 3 starts. And we are facing, as I mentioned, Ross Grimsley. He's a lefty. So today's lineup, I've given Parrish the day off. It showed that he was tired, so I moved Fisk into the catcher's role, and I have Champ Summers in right instead of Gary Hancock. Summers is actually hitting lefties really well, and as I mentioned in yesterday's game, where we had the walk-off home run from Tom Brookins, I mentioned that I was going to replace Thompson with Tim Corcoran and give him a chance to get some at-bats, because Thompson has just been horrible. And since we moved Fisk to the catcher's role, I've moved Rick Peters into the DH slot. So that's our lineup versus Ross Grimsley. So let's get this game started. Ross Grimsley with the fancy hairdo. Sweet Lou is batting leadoff, and let's see how this goes. Well, that's a good start, as Whitaker rips it to left for a base hit. So 1 on for Trammell, and as per usual, I'm going to hit and run with Whitaker on base. And Trammell's going to hit it to the right side, moving Whitaker over, so that's 1 down. For Steve Kemp, batting .278 versus lefties. He's going to go down swinging, which will leave it up to Carlton Fisk to drive in the run. And he's going to ground out to short. So we got the 1 hit from Whitaker, and we weren't able to do anything else with it. So we have Bannister leading off the bottom of the first. Bannister is going to pop it up on the infield for the first out. 1 down for Toby Harrah. Harrah's going to go down swinging. And that brings up Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay. 2 down for him, and he's going to ground out to third. So scoreless first, headed to the top of the second. Champ Summers leading off against Ross Grimsley, who was actually originally drafted by the Tigers in their championship year of 1968, but he did not sign. And he went on to sign to be drafted with the Reds in the secondary draft of that year, and eventually played on the 1971 Reds team that Sparky Anderson was the manager of. And coincidentally, Milt Wilcox was also on that staff. So the two starting pitchers actually played together on the 1971 Cincinnati Reds. So Summers flew out to left, and Corcoran grounded out to short, which brought up Peters, who has a base hit to right, and we're not going to risk that. Peters does have a 91 speed, and I think we're going to attempt to have him steal second. Maybe get a runner into scoring position for Stegman. Peters does steal second, so runner in scoring position for Stegosaurus. Gets a base hit up the middle, and that's going to score the first run of the game. Do I want to stretch it into a double? I do not. Von Hayes' arm is not particularly good in this game, but he had a really good arm, if I remember right, in the majors. But we'll be satisfied with the base hit, which knocks in the first run. And we'll give a chance to Brookins, who was the hero of yesterday's game, with the walk-off home run in the 11th inning. If you haven't watched that game, spoiler alert, but otherwise, it was a lot of fun, and the score went back and forth a couple of times, so well worth watching. So we go to the bottom of the second, and it looks like Andre Thornton is going to be safe on an error by Wilcox, which will bring up Carl Pagel, who is DHing. For whatever reason, in Baseball Mogul, Carl Pagel is a god. He only had a few at-bats for the Cubbies, and as I mentioned in the earlier series we played, he was considered a highly touted prospect as he strikes out swinging for the first out. But in this game, he reaches his potential because he just has been crushing it in every simulation I've done. Catcher Ron Hasse flies out to center, and that's going to bring up the aforementioned Von Hayes with the runner in scoring position. And that's going to be a double down the line. Thornton is going to score, and Hayes is in scoring position as well with Manning. Rick Manning. Manning is going to pop up the short. If you've been following along, you'll know that I mentioned in the previous series that Rick Manning stole Dennis Eckersley's wife. That's true. And that's one of the reasons why Eckersley got traded. So the Indians tie it up as we head to the top of the third. Whitaker leads off with another base hit, so he's 2 for 2. I'm not going to hit and run this time. We've been struggling with that. I'm going to let Trammell swing away, and he's just going to flip it out to right field for the first out of the inning. Bringing up Kemp, who's 0 for 5 versus Grimsley this year. But he gets a base hit this time to left, moving the runner up to second, and now we got 2 runners on base with Carlton Fisk, who's crushing it versus lefties. Fisk is going to take a walk, and now we have bases loaded. For Summers, who's in limited duty, has a .538 batting average versus lefties, but he's been clutch the whole season, even if his overall numbers don't necessarily reflect that. He's going to fly it out to right. We're going to have Whitaker tag up and score. We're going to take the lead 2-1. And I'm not going to risk the third out at third. So we're going to say no. And we're going to give Corcoran a chance here to get a hit. Tim has not played much this season. I've been really running Jason Thompson out there every game. But as I mentioned in the pregame, there's a time where you can only take so much from somebody batting .219. So we get the run back, and we have a 1-run lead heading into the bottom of the third. And Wilcox is going to face number 9 hitter Jerry Dybzinski, wearing the old school White Sox hat. It's going to fly out to right, and that's going to bring up Alan Bannister. He's going to pop it up on the infield. Our right side of our infield is very poor defensively, so I'll be curious to see how many base hits go down the right field line. I know we saw Von Hayes hit a double down the line earlier. Harris going to pop out to second base, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Wilcox. So Rick Peters leading off. He had a base hit his first time up and a stolen base, but he's going to ground out to second. Bringing up Steggy. Stegman going to pop out on the infield for 2 down. And here's Brookins, who, despite the home run yesterday, has just really not got it going so far. He's going to pop it up to second as well. So, second baseman for Cleveland, which is Alan Bannister, recorded all 3 outs. So, bottom of the fourth, and Wilcox will face Mike Hargrove to lead off. Hargrove walks, which is one of the things that he's renowned for. He walked 103 times in 1977 and 107 times in 1978. So that's no surprise there. He's pretty slow, so maybe we can turn 2. Ground ball to short. And there's a double play. So 2 down for Carl Pagel, who also takes a walk. That brings up Ron Hasse, also wearing that old school White Sox hat. Hasse grounds out to Tram, and we are headed to the top of the 5th. Grimsley, his nickname was Scuzz. He was base hit, another base hit. It's a 3 hits for Whitaker. 50% chance with Hargrove's noodle arm, and we do have a 1-run lead. Let's take a chance. And Whitaker is safe at second with a double. So I was saying before that it was often considered that Grimsley threw a Vaseline ball. Oh! Trammell just drills one to center field for a home run. So Whitaker and Trammell have had some power in the last 10 days. And we take a 4-1 lead. So yeah, 1980, the season we're playing, was really the last year Grimsley pitched in the majors with any frequency. Kemp's going to line out to left. In 1979, Grimsley won 20 games for Montreal, and in 1980 he was just terrible. He was actually traded from Montreal to Cleveland, and they actually cut him at the end of the year. Summers grounds out to third, moving Fisk over. Grimsley's also widely considered, he's widely blamed for Montreal not winning the division in 1979. 1979, because he really struggled down the stretch. They put him in the bullpen, and eventually that led to him being traded the next year. So we head to the bottom of the fifth. We have a 3-run lead, and Von Hayes grounds out for the first out. And now we have Rick Manning. He's going to have an infield hit to first. So there's another example of poor fielding. The ball hit to that side, Manning beating it out. The number 9 hitter walks. You don't ever want to walk the number 9 hitter. So it's 3 walks and 2 Ks for Wilcox, who's sitting at 72 pitches. I'm going to guard the lines with 1 down. Bannister's going to ground weakly to second and beat it out, but they force the runner at second, which is going to make it first and third for Toby Harrah, who does have some pop, but he's only batting 198, so we're just going to pitch it, see what happens. Oh, of course, a wild pitch is going to score that second run. I never knew this until I played this game, but I didn't know a wild pitch was an unearned run, but it appears that it is. And so Toby Harrah walks, and that's the 4th walk issued by Wilcox. And now I'm a little concerned. Hargrove going to ground out to Brookins. Oh no! Brookins makes an error. Oh no, I think we're doomed this inning. When you get a wild pitch and an infield hit and an error in the same inning, that's the game telling you that it does not want you to win this game. And so we have the cleanup hitter now with Andre Thornton. Let's see what happens. Yep. There's a base hit to left. 2-run score, game is tied. And when that happens, if you've played this game enough, you know there's really nothing you can do. See, another base hit to the middle for Pagel, and that'll give Cleveland the lead. And even if I took Wilcox out, even though these runs are all unearned at this point, whomever I bring in would have the same results. So now Wilcox is tired, and Hassey's going to pop out for the 3rd out. So that was incredibly frustrating, but I guess at this point I'm just used to that kind of result. Peters is going to ground at the second. I also have to wonder aloud that maybe having poor defense on the right side, contributed to the overall scoring. Maybe if I had a better defense in there, maybe that would not have occurred. I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Brookins triples down the line with 2 outs, and so we have a chance to tie it up as Grimsley is now tired. And we're back to the top of the lineup with Whitaker, who's going to ground out to first. So, Wilcox is sitting at 93 pitches, and the next 2 hitters are lefties. So I'm going to keep him on a short leash. I'm only playing this out because I really would like to see Wilcox get the victory, but he gives up a base hit to Von Hayes, and this is if Manning gets on base, then this will be it. Manning rips it to the left, but Kemp is going to catch it for the first out. And his bunting is 99. I'm going to bring the corners in. But Dubzinski is going to swing away. And that's going to fall in for a base hit. So that's it for Wilcox. Just 1 inning that got away from him, and that's what really did him in. So we're going to bring in Roger Weaver. Pitched poorly in his last outing. So we need to bring the infield in to prevent another run from scoring. Bannister's going to ground it to Brookins, who goes home for the second out. And we're one pitch away from getting out of this inning with Toby Hara 2 down. Hara also grounds to Brookins. So we get out of that inning, and the Indians are going to bring in a reliever now. They're bringing in Sid Mungie, who in the future plays for Detroit. I think it's 82 or 83. He joins the Tigers. But for now, let's crush him. So Trammell's going to lead off. Oh no, Trammell goes down swinging. You really can't trash talk on this game. Steve Kemp with 1 down here in the top of the 7th. Grounding out to 3rd. And catcher Carlton Fisk. He's going to get a base hit to left. No, we're not going to stretch it into a double. That's going to bring up Champ. And I guess we're going to let him swing away. Nope, Summers is going to walk. So first and second with 2 down for Tim Corcoran. And I really don't want him to have to bat versus the lefty, but yeah, that's what I expected. He's going to pop it up on the infield, and that'll be the 3rd out. So, bottom of the 7th, and what do we got going on here? We got a bunch of lefties, so let's take out Weaver. Let's bring in Rucker. We haven't pitched him in a while because he's been so in limited duty. He's been fairly bad. So give him an opportunity here. Yeah, base hit. Maybe Rucker's not ready for the majors. Yeah, this is his rookie year. He's only 22 years old. Let's see if we can induce a double play. Oh no, instead he gives up a crushing home run to Andre Thornton, and you suck, Rucker. Yep, and then he walks Pagel. At this point, I mean, don't we just have to get him through the lefties? Hesse flies to the base of the wall for the 1st out. 1 down, runner at first for Von Hayes. Pagel advances on a wild pitch. And bring the outfield in just in case there's a base hit. Hayes is going to ground out to 3rd. Moving Pagel, I'm sorry, he grounded out to Corcoran at 1st, moving Pagel to 3rd. And that brings up Rick Manning with 2 down. And there's another hit scoring a run. So that's it for Rucker, giving up 3 runs in just 2/3 of an inning, and basically taking us out of this ball game. We have shown an aptitude for coming back. If you've watched the last few games, we've never really truly been out of it. But yeah, it doesn't look so good. I bring in Tobik, and Tobik gives up a hit right away. And now it's 1st and 3rd, and the floodgates are opening with Bannister pitching. Bannister up to bat, and he walks. So base is loaded as we just cannot get out of this inning. So base is loaded for Toby Hara. And he's going to ground it to Trammell at short, and we get out of that one. We're only giving up 3 runs. So at one point we were in total control, but the Indians have scored 7 unanswered runs. And so it's the top of the 8th, and Peters is going to go down swinging. Munge is still in the game, obviously. Stegman is going to get a base hit to center. No, we're not going to risk it. We're down 4 runs, so we're going to need to get a rally going. Brookins, the number 9 hitter, is going to fly out to right for 2 down. And that's going to bring up Sweet Lou, who is 3 for 3. But here he grounds out to first, and we strand the runner at first. Okay, so we have a lot of lefties coming up. We're going to take Topic out, and we're going to bring in, I guess we'll bring in Hiller. And the only reason I'm choosing him is he has the least innings pitched of my lefties, so we're going to try not to overuse the long relievers. Hiller does strike out Mike Hargrove, so that's 1 down. Facing Andre Thornton, who had a 2-run bomb. Here he grounds out to second for 2 down, and that brings up Carl Pagel. Pagel goes down swinging, so at least one of my pitchers is pitching well, and that's Hiller. So the Indians are bringing in their setup man, Bobby Cuellar, who looks like a career minor leaguer who's getting an opportunity. Let's see if we can get a rally going against this nobody. Well, paints the corner, and Trammell goes down looking. Bringing up our number 3 hitter, Kemp. 1 down in the 9th. Oh gosh, I should have called him a nobody. Trash talking does not work in this game. It's going to leave it up to Carlton Fisk with 2 down. Wow, I thought he was going to strike out the side, but instead Fisk is going to fly out to left, and there goes the winning streak. As we lose 8-4 in the first game against Cleveland. I guess it had to end sometime. Let's take a look at transactions to see if anything exciting happened. Terry Poole of Houston signed a 3-year extension. Okay, and Reggie Smith of the Angels scored his 1,000th run. So, good for him. And let's go ahead and pull up the box score. Feel free to pause it and look it over. And I guess we'll be back tomorrow with our 37th game of the season. And also don't forget to watch our baseball card break video tomorrow with the 2019 Topps Gallery. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.